Good evening everybody, we're back for another trip down Buckethead's Pike album rabbit hole with Pike 35, Thank You Ohlingers. So let's begin. Woo! Released November 2nd, 2013, the album's title and cover art is a thank you to the New York-based movie memorabilia store Ohlingers, who 2 weeks prior to the album's release shut up shop after 40 years in business. The album kicks off with its title track, Thank You Ohlingers. It's the album's longest track at just over 9 minutes, it locks onto several great riffs and doesn't let up. 9 minutes fly by and it's a great start to the album. Track 2, Unopened Boxes, picks up where track 1 left off with heavy rock riffage that flows nicely. Whilst the riffs on display aren't necessarily that memorable, it's still an enjoyable, solid track. Track 3, Way in the Back, ramps up the heaviness with its drum track being way more noticeable and complimentary here than the previous 2 songs. At just over 2.5 minutes, it's in and out and does what it needs to do. Track 4, Manila Envelopes, continues with the heavy, opening up with an instantly memorable riff, which is the backbone of this track. At 2 minutes and 16 seconds, it's the album's shortest song, but so far, arguably its most memorable as far as riffs and composition. Track 5, Alphabetical Order, is again heavy on the riffs, leaning more towards experimental sounding that doesn't quite find its flow like the previous tracks. Nonetheless, it doesn't veer too far off course and keeps the album moving along. Track 6, Window Clip, is well paced, locks onto several cool riffs, and is one of the more enjoyable headbanging tracks of the album so far. Track 7, Shoelock, much like the previous track, has excellent pacing, is easily accessible, and another solid song. At 2.5 minutes, its ending does feel slightly premature, but not to where it's disappointing. The album's final track, Telling Number, is in line with the rest of the album. Heavy punk rock riffs, great pacing and fantastic drums. It's one of the album's standout songs and a great way to end the album. Overall, the word solid would be the best way to describe Pike 35. It's definitely an album of riffs with only one short solo on the entire album. Even though it might not have any 4 or 5-star classic songs, there's not a bad track on the album, and from start to finish, it's enjoyable and consistent in its delivery. After adding up the rating I gave for each track, it came to 66%, which I categorize as good. And you can find my individual song ratings and breakdown on our website, NatterNet.com. So what's your rating for Pike 35? To work out what percentage you give the album, rate each song out of 5 stars, add up your total and divide it by the total score possible, which for Pike 35 is 40, then times it by 100. Thank you Buckethead for Thank You Ohlingers.